welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Heather. I am a queer author of dark fantasy and supernatural horror. And as much as I love writing in my genres, I also like taking my time to refill my creative well with a range of reading. At the beginning of 2021, I created a list of the top 6 authors I was going to try and read for the first time in the year. So I've decided I'm also going to make that going forward one of the considerations I would like to make. It's diving into 6 new authors to me, a variety of genres, along with also just admiring the way they craft stories, and some of them are big heavy hitters that I've just never actually got around to, so I'm going to commit to doing that. So with it being 6 authors, that's one every 2 months, so I think that's quite reasonable. And I also physically own 3 of the books, so that will tie quite nicely into my 2022 reading plans. I did post a video a couple of days ago, I'll link in the cards, that will say how that, which has some of the reading challenges I have eyed up. Otherwise, some of them are also fantasy standalones this year, as an example of the ones I've got. So that will also help me because I'm looking at doing fantasy standalones, just so I can look at the pacing and the structures, because that's how I like to kind of put my reading brain and my writing brain together. So without further ado, I'll dive into the 3 audiobooks that I have on the list, and then 3 physical books. So the audiobooks, I am going to attempt to read Robert Jordan's first book in the Wheel of Time series, which is the Eye of the World Amazon Prime series together. But I'm also intrigued to actually read the book, or everyone, since I like J. Kristoff, has told me I should try out Mark Lawrence, and I have come into possession of both the ebook and the audiobook of Red Sister, which is the first book in his Book of the Ancestors series, I believe, which is an adult series that follows a young girl in sort of a post-apocalyptic fantasy world. Gets taken in by a convent of nuns, but they're also like assassin nuns, from what I've heard of the explanation. The final audiobook I want to read is Margaret Roberson's Sorcerer of Thorns. So this is a young adult fantasy romance, I believe. It just has also a really stunning cover, so if I love it, I may pick myself up a physical book. So now moving on to the books that I actually have on my shelf. The first one I'll talk about today is Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashadois. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. So basically this is a queer female story of a princess that is also tainted with the touch of poison. And I've recently found out that the main character is a person of colour, and it's steeped in a bit of Persian mythology. So I'm really interested in diversing some of my reading that way. I then have a book that I keep meaning to pick up, so I'm putting it on this list to hold myself accountable. It is also one of the most beautiful books I own. Not only the cover, like the dust jacket, but the actual naked hardback of it. And that is Kieran Millwood Hardgreaves' The Deathless Girls. And so this is a beautiful embossed cover, and then just the end pages are stunning. And then this is what the naked hardback looks like. So it's just it's a stunning book in general. But what the story within this book is basically a retelling of Dracula's Wives. And the final book that I will be trying to get to is a bit of an ode to a woman writer in horror and sort of gothic literature. That's how she's been described to me, and that's Anne Rice. And more specifically, I'll be trying to get to The Wolf Gift. I was given this a couple of years ago, and I've recently rediscovered my love of werewolves, so I will be diving into this novel by a heavy hitter in fantasy, gothic, horror avenue, so that way a lot of these books are recommended to me, and now I physically own either an audio or a physical copy of them. So I would love to know which authors that you keep putting off that you would consider trying to prioritize this year in 2022. If you would like me to do an in-depth review on any of the books I've mentioned, please let me know down in the comments. Or if you're not feeling overly chatty, just leave some form of animal emoji. And until next time, please consider liking and subscribing because it really helps my channel. And I will see you with a new video. So let's use our voices to promote positive change in the world. Thank you and goodbye!